Hello my beautiful bookish friends, and welcome back to my channel. So today I am giving you guys my January TBR and all of the themes of my TBR for the year of 2022, because every month is going to have a different theme. Unlike last year where I had like these really tight themes that really limited me to what I was reading, and then eventually by June like I just wasn't reading in theme at all, I have given myself a little room to play and a lot more room for variety when it comes to stuff I'm reading. So let's talk about what I'm going to read in the very first month of 2022. So for the month of January, my themes are to reread one series, which I will show you guys, finish the last of my 2021 TBR, just get it taken care of, get it out of the way so we have a nice fresh clean slate, and participate in Winterween. So let's talk about the series I am rereading because it goes along with Winterween. I am rereading the Stalking Jack the Ripper series. This is 4 books and they get really long by the end, but I really want to reread and annotate this series. I love this series and all of the characters I have raved about. The first one is Stalking Jack the Ripper, where we meet Audrey Rose and most importantly Thomas Cresswell, and they're hunting down Jack the Ripper, and she is a forensic scientist, which is very crazy for the time. I am obsessed with these books. I have talked about them at length for a long time, and of course they're by Carrie Maniscalco, my queen. Then we have Hunting Prince Dracula. This one takes place in Romania, where someone is copying the murders from Vlad the Impaler. Escaping from Houdini, which takes place on a ship that includes Harry Houdini, who is a suspect in murders that are happening on the ship, and Audrey Rose has to infiltrate his circus to figure out who's killing people. And finally, Capturing the Devil, where people think that Jack the Ripper has made it to America, which is a long believed theory about why Jack the Ripper was never caught, is that he got on a ship and eventually immigrated to America and became H.H. Holmes, which this book includes as well. It's all going on at the World's Fair. So it kind of explores that idea as well. And if you read all 4 books, you kind of know how that goes. But yes, love these books. And this one has like a bunch of crazy twists and stuff with Thomas and Audrey's relationship. So great books. Highly recommend them to anybody. They're great for any age, really. From like, I would say like the first one's pretty middle grade. You could definitely give it to like maybe 7th or 8th grade if they're like a more advanced reader. For the rest of the TBR for January, this kind of fits with the theme of sequels as well, because I want to try and get through some series in January. I have Finale, which again is a reread that I want to annotate. This is the end of the Caraval series. I have the next book in the Extraordinary Women from Evie Dunmore. This is Portrait of a Scotsman. I still haven't gotten to this yet. And I want to read Once Upon a Broken Heart, which is another Caraval universe book, but it's the start of a spin-off series. It's all about Jacks that we meet in Legendary. And then I still haven't read Daughter of the Pirate King, which I guess the 3rd book in this series is coming out this year, or came out at the very end of 2021. So I really want to read this so I can get through all the books. So that's all that was still on the TBR from 2021. And the sequels I want to read and stuff. Not a crazy big TBR. It's what, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 books, which is about average for me actually. But there is one that I'm borrowing from the library because I'm participating in Winterween. So Winterween is hosted by Olivia Reads a Latte and Gabby Reads. They've been doing these Halloween themed readathons all throughout 2021. They did Winterween last year. They did, and I have my Dracula shirt on, which how appropriate. They did them last year. They did Camp Summerween over the summer. And I just love the way they set up their readathons. The prompts are so clear, easy, and concise that you really don't have to think too hard, or, you know, they're not stressful. Some readathons just seem so stressful. So this one goes from January 3rd through the 9th. So depending on when this video goes up, I may have already started it. And there's just 5 prompts, which is nice and easy. So the first one is to read in the dark or at night, which any of the books I have fit this. Really, I'm using Winterween to kind of jumpstart me reading the Jack the Ripper series. So reading at night, I feel like, is the best time to read these books because they're so just dark and spooky. Then we have a book with a winter setting. So to fulfill that prompt, it's going to be Hunting Prince Dracula, because this one in Romania, when they're there, I believe it is winter time. There's at least snow, and I'm counting it. A book with snow on the cover. For some reason, I thought this had snow on the cover. Do any of them have snow? I feel like there is snow on here somewhere. If not, I don't know what I'm going to read. We'll just say that there's snow on here. I'm sure it's down here in the bottom somewhere. So, again, Hunting Prince Dracula. The fourth prompt is read a novella or a short book. So, for my short book, it's between 200 and 300 pages. I'm going to read Mooncakes, which is a kind of Halloween-y, witchy graphic novel. I'm going to get it from my library and see if I like it. I've heard good things about it. Actually, Olivia, who is hosting the readathon, has talked about it before and said she really liked it. So I'm going to give it a shot myself. And then finally, a book that gives you thrills and chills, and that is definitely the Jack the Ripper start of the series, Stalking Jack the Ripper, because this one, I will say, has probably the most disturbing ending. All of them are pretty thrilling. This one definitely is a lot more scary, I think, just because we really don't know who Jack the Ripper was. We just know what he did, and that's crazy to me that we still don't know after all these years. So, and this one's a little bit shorter than these 3. So that's all for Winterween. That will take up 5 books, plus the 4 that I still have to finish from 2021. So that's 9 books for this TBR. So now that I've went through those very quickly, I promise not all TBRs will be this quick. Let's talk about the themes I have for my reading for next year. I wanted to really give myself a lot of room to just expand on what I'm reading month to month so that I don't get slumpy. So like I said, for January, we're doing rereading Jack the Ripper, reading sequels, finishing the 2021 TBR, and then Winterween. So for February, I know in a super original creative fashion, the theme is romance, obviously. I'm going to try and read as many romance as I can. Those are all down here on this shelf. And like from here on is all my contemporaries, and most of these are romances. So I want to try and read as many of these as possible, along with books I may unhaul. So that is books on my shelves that I'm going to reread, give one last chance, see if I want to keep them, or if they're going to go into my half-price books pile, or books that are on the shelf that maybe I've had for a while and I'm slightly losing interest in, or feel like maybe it just won't be something I want to keep on my shelves. I want to read those and get them out of the way and find out where they live in my realm of bookishness. And then I will pick 1 or 2 books, depending on how many I decide I may unhaul, from the library. So my library TBRs. That's Libby, that's Hoopla. I have lots of books on those TBRs. So picking 1 or 2 from there. For March, I'm going to do a random numbers choose my TBR. We'll just pick a random number generator and we'll start with the unread books and go from there. So I don't know how many I have. I'll have to count, but between 1 and whatever that number is, we'll do that 4 or 5 times, see what happens, and then any TBR carry over from the first 2 months of the year. April, I'm going to do one from each shelf or section. So my shelves are separated by genre. So bottom shelf is just Disney books because I have so many. They do take up their own shelf. We have mystery, thriller, horror here because they kind of all live in the same realm to me. Fantasy is here. Contemporary and romance are on the same shelf. Historical fiction, and then we have nonfiction, middle grades, in like lower, so like kids books, and then graphic novels and comics. So one from each of those sections, whether I have to dig into the library for some comics and whatnot, I have a bunch on there. And then it says library TBR, so that all kind of goes together. For May, it's all about sequels. So any series I've started, I'm reading the sequel. Library TBR for this one as well, and then one from my reread list to annotate for that month. June, which I'm going to do reading my rainbow round 3. Because June is Pride Month, I always try to pick queer-centered stories for June, but I also read my rainbow. So I pick a red, I knock everything over, clearly. I pick a red book, a yellow book, an orange book, blue, purple, all the way through the rainbow, plus I have incorporated teal, pink, white, brown, and black as well, so it fits the new Pride flag. Then in July, more TBR carryover, one for each shelf and the library TBR. August, we're going to do random numbers, pick my TBR again. September, sequels, one for each shelf and the reread list. And then October, of course, horror, thriller, mystery, and witchy reads only, and any TBR carryover. Oh, sorry, no. Yeah, TBR carryover. For November, I want to do just cozy fall. You know, my version of cozy is very different than some people's. I don't read cozy mysteries, but like I find fantasy very cozy when I read it. So that is always possible that it could pop up. I could have some fantasies in there. And then book of the month books. So I actually reorganized these. So a lot of the book of the month books have been mixed in with their genre because that's where they're going to go up on this shelf. So why not just mix them now? So book of the month books are also included in that. And then finally for December, holiday reads and TBR carryover. So that will be trying to wipe the slate clean before the year 2023 starts, which is crazy that I already have it planned like that. These plans are obviously flexible. They can change. They probably will at some point, but most of these are pretty solid. Like June won't change and October definitely won't change. So that is it. Those are my reading plans. Those is my TBR for the upcoming month. I hope you guys have enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one, and happy reading.